Stan J. Caterbone accountability for torture and other cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment. 32. Symptoms of torture as of Monday, May 24, 2021. Our government is responsible for protecting its citizens from elements that covertly harass, torment, murder, and cause victims to commit suicide through organized stalking and remote electronic torture. Yet, unbiased research indicates that certain elements of government either engage in these activities or protect those who perform them. I seek the complete dismantling of any officially sanctioned covert government torture programs, as well as organized stalking and harassment programs. The passage of legislation specifically outlawing that high-tech torture, and the full prosecution of any person, regardless of his rank or position, who has violated my civil rights and my most basic human rights is in tall order. A renewed call for the continuation of the church hearing of the 1970s would be appropriate. The assaults on my mind, body, person, property, intellectual property, and business interests have been occurring for 35 years, and include, but are not limited to the following victimizations: blanketing my dwelling and surroundings with electromagnetic energy, bombarding my body with debilitating electronic and mind manipulation effects, directed energy weapons causing severe pain to body and brain. Began in at least 2005 and still continuing, with complaints to Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance, FFCHS in 2009, and incited in various state and federal court cases over the past several years. Attacks causing severe artificial pain, most likely from directed energy devices synchronized with telepathic harassment and organized stalking and harassment, have been logged and reported to law enforcement and medical professionals since 2008. Prior to 2008, the attacks were experienced and reported to medical professionals, but the sources were not known. Also reported attacks of pain to a family physician, emergency room personnel, and psychiatrists. Invading my thoughts via remote sensing technologies. Was sent an autonomous email in 1998 introducing the term remote viewing. Various technologies and tactics are being used to create emotional signatures that induce various emotional states, a systematic complete hacking of my mind. Making me mentally hear others' voices through the microwave hearing effect. Synthetic and or mental telepathy. First started to experience telepathy / synthetic telepathy in 2005 with full-time 24/7 connection during the same time to present. When full-time telepathy started, a male conducted interrogations lasting several hours at a time concerning a wealth of subjects including ISC/CIA knowledge. Cannot disconnect from continuous conversations at all times with one female person. The handlers know everything I know and experience in real time. During 2006 and 2007 have been telepathic with some 10 or more persons, both male and female, for short durations. Can recall most conversations and subject matter with identities of who they said they were. Interrogation type harassment is still being used telepathically to harass and for some sleep deprivation. Made first complaints to DARPA, the FBI, and U.S. Senator Arlen Specter in 2007. Some conversations by the persons that are telepathic with me allude to some program similar to the DARPA Datalog program, where they record your entire life. Everything that you try to do on a daily basis is subject matter for conversation and harassment. Interference with thought, harassment, and interrogation is used oftentimes with electromagnetic weapon attacks to the brain or body. Depriving me of sleep due to neurological intervention. Mostly experienced sleep deprivation techniques during periods of time in 2008 to 2010. Mostly with attacks of pain from directed energy weapons to back, neck, head, brain, and heart on a few occasions, and with harassment from telepathy. Introducing poisonous gas and radiation toxins into my home. First experienced toxic gases, chloroform, in heavy doses in 2006 to 2007. Made complaints to the Lancaster City Police Department and the Southern Regional Police. Experienced attacks that would cause dizziness at home, in automobile, and in public. Was informed it was being released through a distribution system the size of fishing line. To counter attacks used cotton in nostrils and gas mask. In 2009 experienced attacks of what is said to be sleeping gas, when attacked could not open eyes. Took pictures during some attacks. Having me stalked en masse on foot and in vehicles. Vandalizing my home and or car. Gang stalking or organized stalking began in 1987 and continues today. It includes strangers using gestures such as finger under eye, various forms of harassment, and public mobbing. Complaints have been filed in 1987, 1992, 1998 and 2005 to 2010. Complaints were made to various public officials and local, state, and federal agencies as mental duress. The terms organized stalking, gang stalking, targeted individual, etc., was not learned until a few years ago. The organized stalking and harassment followed in several states, some while traveling from Lancaster, Pennsylvania to California. Tracking technologies may have been used and most likely are still being used. Police were involved in most places. Tapping, bugging, my phones. Complaints of phone tapping/tampering were made to New Jersey Bell in 1987 with a service call to Stone Harbor, New Jersey to check lines and phones. The same was done by a Bell Atlantic repairman in Conestoga, Pennsylvania in 1998. In 2004 a complaint with a report number was filed with the Pennsylvania Attorney General Office in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Agent Amy Zelnick, regarding interference with phone calls and impersonations by perps intercepting and rerouting calls. Computer hacking complaints were filed to local authorities in the county of Lancaster and the Cybercrime Unit of the Federal Bureau of Investigation in 2005 to 2010. Blacklisting me in the labor market. Filed complaints of employment discrimination with the Pennsylvania Attorney General in 2006 and the Lancaster County Human Relations Commission in 2008. Workplace mobbing. Experienced in 1987 at Financial Management Group, Limited, American Helix of High Industries in 1991 and Flum Contractors Incorporated, in 1997/1998. Filed complaints and logs as mental duress and harassment. Was forced out of all three organizations as a result of the mobbing and harassment. Public mobbing. Public-type mobbing and organized stalking and harassment was perpetrated heavily in the years 2005 to 2010 in the following places: the Lancaster County Courthouse, the Lancaster County Public Library, the Pennsylvania Career Link, and the Millersville University Library and University offices. I was given suspicious and illegal no trespass notices in some 18 public places in Lancaster County in the years 2005 to 2009 without just cause. I was complaining of stalking and harassing in most all of those public places. The Lancaster County Public Library and the Millersville University took away my access to a computer after my personal computers were vandalized and or hacked inoperable. Fulton Bank took away my safe deposit box. Others included my church of worship, various bars and restaurants, and one attorney's office. Complaints have been filed regarding the same in courts and with various authorities. Attempted murder. Experienced with an attempt of vehicular homicide in 1991 after national news media reported ISC/CIANSA connection of arms to Iraq. The incident involved a vehicle changing lanes and direction and heading directly toward me in the wrong direction, running me off the road, narrowly missing a tree. I filed the incident in federal courts and used as a motion to seal federal case No. 05-2288 in 2005 in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. Pet killing. Cat was killed in 2005 with complaints to the Lancaster County Humane Shelter and the Southern Regional Police Department. Illegal entries of homes/properties. First in 1987 in Stone Harbor, New Jersey, then again in 1991, 1997 to 1998, and most serious in 2005 to 2010. Filed police reports and insurance claims, most with the Southern Regional Police Department of Conestoga, Pennsylvania, State Farm, and Harleysville Insurance Companies. Illegal repossessions. Airplane in 1987 containing legal and business files. Home/property and contents in 2006 also containing legal and business files and documents. Physical assaults. One attack and filed complaint with police report in Los Osos, California in 2005 and one in the city of Lancaster. Police reports were filed and obtained for both. False arrests. Experienced 7 in 1987 and more than 20 in 2005 and 2006 in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Lancaster County Court of Common Pleas. The false arrests were charges that were all dismissed prior to court hearings. False imprisonments. Spent 7 to 10 days in Lancaster County Prison in 1987 with all charges dismissed and again for some 60 days in 2006 with all charges dismissed. The 60 days of imprisonment of 2006 was triggered with a false report of missing a bail supervision meeting, which was confirmed to be false in court. However, bail was maliciously and purposefully reinstated as secured instead of unsecured. The appropriate appeal was filed which secured my release after some 60 days of false imprisonment. There were no charges that resulted in any convictions. Psychiatric abuses with false suicide allegations from perpetrators/stalkers. One in 1987 resulting in a forced hospitalization for several hours by police in Stone Harbor, New Jersey. And one again in February of 2005 resulting in police restraining me in my home and abusing me. This one was a fraudulent and phony email sent to police by a perp. The Southern Regional Police had to vacate after the email was proven to be a fraud. Vandalism to property. First in 1987 in Stone Harbor, New Jersey, then again in 1991, 1997 to 1998, and most serious in 2005 to 2010. Filed police reports and insurance claims, most with the Southern Regional Police Department of Conestoga, Pennsylvania and Harleysville Insurance Company. 3 computers have been rendered inoperable since 2005 along with various electronics equipment, DVD recorders, printers, household items, appliances, etc. Most insurance claims have been paid. In the past years a wave of purchased items, online and in stores, were received broken or the wrong item and all had to be returned. Some included items to secure my property, and others included computer-related items, others were household and clothing items. Gaslighting. The illegal entering of home and causing psychological duress by moving items and or hiding items. First reported in 1998 to the Conestoga Police and continued to present. Clothing was also manipulated and altered. The term gaslighting was only learned in 2010, although it was reported to police as harassment by neighbors of friends. The daily draining of my hot tub was also used as a psychological warfare tactic and used to run up utility bills. Numerous complaints were made to police in 2008 to 2010. Thefts of property. As evidenced by various police complaints, insurance claims, and incident reports. Vandalism to car/truck. Since 2005 have experienced years of gas siphoning, battery outages, letting air out of tires, and wetting of inside of floor mats as psychological warfare tactics by perps and stalkers. Made numerous complaints the Lancaster City Police Department. Toxic chemical causing running nose. Experienced on regular basis in 2009 when in public places. Was not in conjunction with cold/flu symptoms. Research states it is a tactic used in organized stalking. Computer hacking. Computer hacking complaints were filed to local authorities in the county of Lancaster and the Cybercrime Unit of the Federal Bureau of Investigation in 2005 to 2010. Numerous complaint numbers have been secured. Complaints of cell phone hacking was also reported in 2010. Websites and blogs were regularly hacked and sometimes taken offline. Electronic calendars, court documents, and financial records were often hacked causing many problems of the years, including having to withdraw civil complaints. Cyber stalking. Most in 2005 to 2010. Complaints to Microsoft Legal Counsel, Yahoo Message Board, and the FBI Cybercrime Unit. Interference/delay/theft of U.S. mails. First reported to U.S. Postmaster of Mail tampering and illegal changing of address in 1987. In 2008 to 2009 have made several more complaints to the U.S. Postmaster Inspector General, who claimed to have begun investigations. Some caused missed court hearings and other missed appointments and/or meetings. Electromagnetic weapons causing severe muscle spasms/cramps. First experienced in 2006 to present. One experience in 2006 was while I was in my hot tub and the pain and cramp was so severe in my left calf muscle, you automatically bent over to rub it out, which placed my head underwater. I had to crawl out of the hot tub before almost drowning. Electromagnetic weapons causing sexual stimulation. First experienced in 2005. Forced hospitalizations. Forced hospitalizations in 1987, 2. 1 for 6 hours and 1 for 5 days, 2006 1 for 3 days, 2009 1 for several hours while in intensive care for emergency surgery, and 2010 1 for 8 days. Filed complaints to Citizens Commission for Human Rights in 1991 and 2008. Manipulation and theft of documents. Numerous thefts and manipulation of all legal and business documents both in paper and in electronic format have occurred since 1987. Microfiche/microfilming began in 1987 and other measures to secure documents have been ongoing to present. Numerous complaints have been filed with law enforcement since 1987. Creating an itch on the hardest to reach places on the body that makes you want to scratch to the bone. The itch can attack at a moment's notice, and being crippled means getting out of bed or off of the desk chair, causing further aggravation and torture. Anti-itch ointments have to be constantly rotated to counter the pain and suffering. The constant prohibition of adequate medical care. Namely, keeping a mobility scooter from being provided by already qualifying Medicare supplement insurance since early December 2020, which keeps me from leaving my home unless completely necessary for limited court-related appointments, which in and above itself is a form of total isolation and solitary confinement that is accompanied by harassment and stalking by neighbors.